The good news is that in the Soviet Union, there is a battle that is taking place. It is occurring far, far, far to the east of what you'd see on this map, way off to the east. It's a place called Stalingrad. And the magic of this is that the sacrifice is unbelievable, an enormous loss of men. I'm talking a million soldiers on each side. A million Soviets will die, a million Germans will die. It is a tremendous number of, 500,000 on each side, leading to a million total casualties. It is a catastrophic battle that takes place over nearly half a year in this one Soviet city. Why is that a big deal? Because that Battle of Stalingrad puts the Germans on the defensive. They had been advancing for years until they get to the Battle of Stalingrad. And for really the first time here, what we're going to see is a major German defeat in Europe. No longer on the offensive in Europe, but actually losing. This creates a turning point in the war in Europe, this Battle of Stalingrad, because now, from this point forward in Europe, it will be a series of retreats, long, slow, steady retreats in Europe. So just as the Americans kind of weaken the periphery, the Soviets are able to stop the main German assaults and actually reverse that. So the Allies, Britain and America, then have to look at this and say, okay, so the Soviets are handling the Germans in Eastern Europe. Now we've got to look for a way to distract Hitler. Britain is just a small island. It's been heavily attacked during the Battle of Britain. It hasn't fully recovered. America is still looking for ways to ramp up its war production fully so that it can invade Europe. We have to find some way to put the pressure on Germany to keep them distracted so that the Soviets won't have as hard of a time. Now, if we look at this map and we say, okay, we know we can't invade France itself. We're just not strong enough to do that. There's no way we can invade Germany itself. We're just not strong enough to do that. Germany is occupied in the east with the Soviets. Where can we go? And the answer for Americans is going to be here, Italy. Nicknamed the soft underbelly of Europe. The idea is the Italian army isn't as good as the German army. So hopefully, if we invade Italy, their army is weaker. We will be able to advance quickly, capture large amounts of ground, attack Germany from the south, force it to take troops from away east and let the Soviets have more control in Eastern Europe, and all will be well. But that's not how it plays out. The invasion of Italy is a complete and utter disaster. Hundreds of thousands of Allied troops, Americans, British, Canadians, they're killed or wounded. In fact, we never fully ever conquer Italy. Germany itself will fall before Italy actually ends up falling. It never actually does. They end up all just surrendering. We only ever conquer about half of Italy. So that soft underbelly, that concept that Italy is supposed to be the place to go on the periphery, it's supposed to have a weak army, it didn't turn out that way. In fact, it's a bloodbath for Allied soldiers. So with the war in Italy kind of grinding on and not going the way we wanted, we had to look for another way to put pressure on Germany, since we're still not strong enough to invade in Europe. The answer there is going to be to bomb Germany into submission, to drop so many weapons on it, so many bombs on it, that we will cripple their morale. The Germans will no longer want to fight, we kill so many. Their economy and production will plummet. They won't even be able to wage war, we destroy so much. That's the idea. It doesn't work. I mean, we drop tens of thousands, 53,000 tons of explosive a month on Germany. It doesn't work. Don't destroy their economy. We don't lessen their ability, their morale at all. The German people want to fight on to the end. It does destroy aircraft factories. It does destroy the railroad system. It does create temporary oil shortages that are severe. But it does not destroy morale. It does allow us by 1944 to have control of the air, which is great. So that means that the German Air Force is no longer a factor as the Soviets and Allies are attacking by 1944, but it doesn't do what it's supposed to do. In other words, Germany is incredibly tough and resilient. they're fighting and fighting and fighting and refusing to give up. So how do we approach the end of this war then? What happens?